long weekend. Isn't that exciting? And this morning I'm going to do a meditation. So I ask that you please allow yourself to become quiet and still. Wherever you are, whatever time of day, please be quiet, be still, and allow yourself this opportunity to relax and to discover who you are. Because there's one thing I know for sure, who you are is far more precious than I will ever know. And who you are is far more precious than you may ever discover. So all I'm asking you to do is just be part of the journey of discovering yourself and your beauty and your glory. So please relax and inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. In, release, relax. In, release, relax. Inhale, exhale. With every exhalation, feel your body relax. Visualize your mind as a line that has many curves in it, almost like looking at a horizon where you see the mountains. And with every exhalation, with every releasing, the letting go, that line becomes smoother and calmer. Just as if there were waves on a big, big lake, and you see the waves stirring up. Could be from a wind, whatever, but the waves are coming. But you see the waves slowly calm down. And as you see the waves calming down, you see it as a metaphor for your own self calming down. And as you see the lake, and that the waves no longer keep coming, but the lake is calm, you realize that you can see the beautiful, pristine bottom of the lake. You realize that there are beautiful rocks, there are beautiful fish. It is clear, you can see the plant life that is under the water. And as this is a metaphor, please see it now as you discovering yourself and realizing the beauty deep down within you. Recognize and feel that calmness. And as you see the beautiful rocks, whatever may be below the water, sparkling in the sunlight, realize that this stands for the gifts within you, the beautiful treasures of who you are, the not yet discovered jewels of who you are. And part of the reality is that, yes, each of us are living our lives, but our life comes from an ultimate source, a divine source, the creator of earth and creator of the universe, a force, a universal mind much greater than anything we may ever understand in our human form. And yet we can use simple things like thinking of a lake and waves to feel and enjoy the beauty of our connection with the one mind, with the God essence. Isn't it exciting to really think how much there is about each of us, how much there is about you that you still have not yet discovered? Well, since this is our meditation, since this is our lake, and your lake is going to look very different from my lake in my mind, and yet it is a place of discovery that no one under any circumstances can remove from us. Our connection with the divine is so sacred, so holy, so beautiful. We are the only ones who really know the strength of that connection and the beauty of it. And if at times our life, or as we're visualizing the lake, the wind comes, things happen, it becomes choppy, the reality is the creator of the lake is always there, keeping us afloat, showing us ways to continue on, and helping us find ways to again have calmness and beauty in our life. For the beauty of who we are, the miracle of who we are, sometimes may not be as evident as at others to us, and yet it is still there. It is still there. So I want you to relax and feel yourself. As you breathe, feel your life. The in and the out of the breathing. Feel the joy, the honor of being you. And realize how completely whole and perfect you are. You are whole and perfect. Why? Because you are a creation of the one mind, of the God essence, of the creator of the all that is. You are one of the beautiful and miraculous gifts that was created by the one mind. So thank you for being you. But continue to learn. Continue to grow. Continue to be. And never, ever forget the gift that your life is right now, and the gift that you are sharing with the world. And as you look beyond yourself and see other forms of life, be they human, animals, plants, whatever, see the life within them, the God essence within them. For each of us are a part of the mighty whole. What an important part we have. And just the littlest bit of recognition to ourselves or to others can show the love of the divine. Remember the pond. Remember how smooth it is. Remember the beauty of the jewels, of the stones, the rocks, the life, the plants underneath. And remember that this represents our beauty, our treasures, our life. Inhale, exhale, release and let go. Inhale, exhale, and know with me that whatever it is you need today to live today to the fullest is already within you, and you are directed toward this. Release, let go. Release, let go. And so it is. And now, Reverend Judy Anderson will do our opening.
Good morning, and it's such a pleasure to be here with you today, whether you're in this room or whether you're watching from your kitchen table with a cup of coffee in front of you. Take a sip, swallow it, and taste how good it is. And as you do that, taste how good the air is that we breathe, and know that the meditation Reverend Travis has just done for us is part of your being right now. All that that meditation involved, evolved, unfolded is yours, and it is mine. And I am so grateful for that, Reverend Travis. Thank you again. And so to begin our service, let's read our opening affirmation together. I plant new seeds in my garden of life. The seeds are those of loving relationships, radiant health, prosperity, and creativity. I dig out the weeds of anxiety, limitation, and fear so that the good can grow and bear fruit. Thoughts are the seeds, and I am the thinker. I do the planting, and I reap the harvest. I tend my garden with care, and so it is. And for any children who might be with us, or their parents, our word for today is peacefulness. That's a marvelous word, and it's something for all of us to embrace. To be peaceful inside, use peaceful, nonviolent ways to resolve problems. You can get peaceful by becoming very still so that you can reflect, meditate, or pray. Give your worries to God and ask God to take care of them. When you do this every day, you become more and more peaceful. Look for the good in others. If someone does something that hurts or annoys you, you will be more peaceful if you forgive them right away. And our affirmation, I find my inner peace and let it carry me gently through the day. So if you'd like to repeat that with me, I find my inner peace and let it carry me gently through the day. And so it is.
So it is.
And I have one announcement for those of you who are in my Sunday class. I want you to know that Last week, I had enough of a cough and sore throat. I didn't feel I could come because of COVID, but the course continues. If you were here today, we would continue after the service, but I'll hope to see you next week. Thank you. And with that, it is my joy to announce our speaker is Reverend Teresa Phillips, who is brilliant.
Oh, yay.
And wise and giving. And Reverend Teresa is going to talk to us about spiritual kinship with all, remembering that our theme for May is Holy, Holy Uprising. So let's rise up with Reverend Teresa in a holy, holy way. Reverend Teresa, thank you.
Okay, the vain person in, oh, I'm Reverend Tress, by the way. I have to tell you that my ego is saying, oh, get Reverend Judy back here because she called me brilliant and all these good things. And that was pretty nice. I like that. So thank you, Reverend Judy. It's very seldom anyone calls me brilliant, so I'll suck it all up and just enjoy every moment of it. So May is a month of action and it's a month of growth. So what can I say? Happy May long weekend. Now, we have all these ideas, May long weekend, but I just want to take you back, let's say 22 years, 25 years, and it is the being a parent of a high school student. And this is a scenario. I'm the son, right? Well, here's the situation, and this is about a week before the May long weekend. It's May long. It's not May long weekend in that generation. It is May long. It's May long. And we're having these parties. And I'm going to this party and yada yada yada. And of course, parent here is, you're not going to any party. What do you think you're up to? Because of course I have all the, you're going to get in an accident, you're going to be dead and buried before you even get to where you're going. And yeah, just part of the scenario of the teenager, the parent, the worrying. And so he did go to the May long with his buddy. And the buddy's parents were there, and they went fishing at Buffalo Lake Narrows, where we always go. So, and I even had a woman I worked with in health records, and she was camping right by there, so she was able to give me a full report of what happened, and nothing happened. So, but that's part of the May, is the May long weekend was party weekend. But there's some other things about May and the long weekend. It's Victoria Day, Queen Victoria Day. So I really want to show you a few things. It's show and tell for me today, because I actually have things to show and tell. So I'm very Canadian. It's just something that I am. So I want to show you a dish. You probably can't really see it, but this is a dish. I'll read you what is on the dish. Right in the middle is the Queen Victoria. Okay? Above her head it says Dominion of Canada. And it showed the provinces that were part of Canada at the time that this was made. There was Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Manitoba, Prince Edward Island, and British Columbia. Alberta had not yet joined. So this place is, pre-1905, it has to be late 1800s, Dominion of Canada. And this is part of my collection with May Long Weekend. But there's a little bit more. See this ugly thing here? It opens up. There's 3 pictures in it. 2 of them are men. I don't have a clue who they are. I'm sure they're lords or somebody or other. These are real pictures. The picture in the middle is a picture of Queen Victoria. This picture would have come from late 1800s, and it says Her Majesty the Queen. To me, that is what Queen Victoria and Victoria Day is. And what they wanted us to really discuss as part of our weekly discussion was our roots. Well, that's part of my roots. Very British, very Scottish. So part of the roots, and they say, well, talk about your family. Well, part of my family, my grandfather, he was a pit pony boy. Part of that is he was about 11 or 12 years old, and he was sent to work. And he actually went down the mines in Scotland, and they were shale mines. And he's just this little kid. You had to go out and work. And he was the little kid that took the ponies down in the mine. And my grandfather, who I never met, he worked in the mines for the rest of his life. That's part of my growing up. So what's another part of that? Another part is the poverty. And the poverty, what did that include? Well, it was class distinction. And this is what we're talking about, is all inclusive of all people. And what have we been taught? That people are not the same. We are all the same. But back in the day when they were young, I had an uncle called William. But unfortunately, my uncle died. Why did he die? Because he was just a baby. And he got very sick at night. And so my grandfather went to the doctor at night and said, my boy is very ill, I need help. And the doctor said, no, not until tomorrow. I won't come. That's because they lived where all the families lived that were miners. That's because they were not the upper class. If that little baby had been an upper class in Scotland at that time, the doctor would have come. That's part of my background. So the togetherness, the coming to Canada for my mother as a war bride, and trying to realize that people are all equal here. Until the day she died, I had to always remind her, Mom, you are good enough. Mom, it doesn't matter what size your house is. Mom, we're all the same. But I never stopped because it's too important. That's part of the roots. Now, my husband's mother was also a war bride, but her family had money, so it was a little bit different of a background. But we would go visit his mom, and she, oh my goodness, she was this, probably we were about the same height, and she was just cute as a button. And we'd go see her. And one of the times we saw her, we had the privilege to see the part of the AIDS quilt. And the AIDS quilt, and they talk about it in the description for our talk for today, was the seeing an ancestor, someone who had passed on, and someone seeing the beauty of God essence in all people. Well, I want to tell you what the big deal of seeing the AIDS quilt was. You see, we have a family member who passed away with AIDS about 40 years ago. And that was before people even really talked about it in Canada. Yet he passed away. Now, this fellow, he was very intelligent. He was a school teacher for part of his life. He worked for a newspaper and publishing a newspaper for part of his life. Yet he passed this way. And it took me a while to actually be able to tell people why the brother-in-law died. You know, I remember I was at work and I got the phone call and my boss was giving me work at the time. And I remember saying, oh, my brother-in-law's died and we're going to have to go out there. And I remember, bless his heart, my boss saying, oh, that's too bad, but we've got a lot of work to do. So Russ was able to go out for the funeral, but I had to stay and work. But it took a while before I could actually tell people what he passed away with. And if you say to somebody, oh, George died, Bonnie died, first question, oh, what did they die of? First question. It's normally not, oh, I'm sorry, it's what did they die of? And it took me a while to actually tell them. So what I need to ask myself, and what we're talking about is, am I open and welcoming to others in my community that may think and express differently? Do I accept everyone? Do I see the God essence in everyone? Am I able to honor and celebrate the diversity going on around me? Because there is diversity everywhere we go. Howard Thurman said, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive and do it. What does the world and the people in it need from me? Who and what am I called to be and to do today? So what can I do? Who am I called to be? Well, we're 100% important in life. But God, divine mind, is that force deep down inside of us. And that's what gives us the insight to the beauty of life. And there's so many beautiful things to see in others. Now, you've heard this a gazillion times, so one more time probably won't hurt. This week I've been out there at 4:30 with the birds. And I do meditation every morning. And I was out there, I was recording them because it's so peaceful and I can hear the birds. I don't know how far away I can hear them. Blocks, I think. And they're so gorgeous. And the light's out. And I really feel a connection to God. So now that I've recorded them, I can look at that any time of the year. But the beautiful meditation I had, it was a chorus of birds. It was seeing the crabapple trees in my yard and the neighbor's yard in full bloom. The smelling of the fresh grass, the leaves. It was glorious. And what is it I do when I do the meditation in the morning? I ask God, God, what is your vision for me? I've been doing this for years. God, what is your vision for me? Then I have to listen. Then I have to look. We can daily renew ourselves through our thoughts, our actions, our meditations. You see, it's all in perspective. So I brought my last little show and tell item. Okay, to some it's just a tree. It was, we've been cleaning out some trees. But if you were like the boys in the neighborhood I grew up in, this makes one heck of a slingshot. So you might see that. You might see all kinds of things in this. I'm able to see how my father used to take parts of trees and he would loosen the bark and he would sort of tap it with the knife he'd be using, the pocket knife, and he'd make a whistle for all the kids, a whistle out of just a tree branch like this. So many things, but it's growth. But it's also, it has been trimmed so that the tree itself can grow and expand. So what is it we need to trim out of our life that no longer serves us good? Or what is it we may have tossed aside and then realized, hey, maybe I need to bring that part of me alive because I see the God essence in it. But it's all in perspective. It's a tree branch. But the Dalai Lama says it turns out that our perspective has a surprising amount of influence over the body's stress response. When we turn a threat into a challenge, our body responds differently. Well, this yesterday was a special day. Do you remember the song, The Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin? Well, how about, you ever heard of the Pie Man? Well, I'm not going to be rude and point, but there's kind of a pie man sitting over there. He's a media man at our church, but I'm not going to point or tell on him or anything. But yesterday was a farmer's market, the first day, and I'll tell you, we were one of the first people there at 8 a.m, and we made a beeline to the pie lady. And I was, in all honesty, because I use the walking sticks and he uses one stick. And so here we are, just kind of, I was literally left in the dust because he was way over there getting to the pie lady. He got to the pie lady. And like it's been, well, August, I guess, was the last time she saw him, maybe September. Oh, the rhubarb pie guy. Yeah. Oh, well, and I finally got there. I said, his tongue's been hanging out all year for this. And she said, you know what, maybe I better raise the price when you guys come. And I'm thinking, yeah, he paid $20, $30 for these pies. But the joy that was there, the gift she has in giving us rhubarb pies, it sounds silly, but it's not. It's something to look forward to, something special. It's a talent that she has because she can bake. And when I try and do that, you know what hockey pucks look like? And you know how hard they are? I probably could make money baking hockey pucks because I cannot bake. So that's how God speaks to her. And he is blessed by it, as many. I've seen other husbands up there with their tongues hanging out wanting the pies. So how does God, divine mind, speak to you? What are your creative urges? Do you have quiet times? Do you meditate? Do you journal? I do all of those things because that is my easiest way to connect. And with a quiet time or a meditation, I remember if shopping in the mall, it was too busy, I would just sit down in one of those chairs, I'd have a little meditation, and people didn't have a clue. But I was making myself calm and peaceful. So, what is your vision for me? That's what I always ask God. And I listen and I observe what gifts are being shown to me. So, do you listen and observe? Do you ever ask God, divine mind, whatever word you use, what is your message for me? I want to share a story with you. There was a man and he whispered, God, speak to me. And so a meadowlark sang, and the man just didn't pay attention, so he yelled, God, speak to me. And a symphony played. But he didn't listen, he didn't have time, he wasn't interested. So he's getting even more angry. God, you show me a miracle. Well, a life was born. Yeah, but that didn't have anything to do with him. He couldn't have cared less. So he's really getting mad. He, touch me, God. Let me know you're here. And the most beautiful, beautiful butterfly came and landed on his shoulder. And it was gorgeous. And he just flicked it off. He did not listen. He was not prepared to see the everyday gifts of God. And this particularly touches me because I had my own experience like that, and it was right after my father had died, and I had to meet with one of my bosses the next day, and I was nervous. So we'd gone to Gasoline Alley, and we were walking outside of Gasoline Alley by the coffee shop that we'd gone into, and those big blue dragonflies that come, it came and sat right on me. And it didn't leave. And so I bet you we spent 15 minutes or more walking. I kept thinking it has to leave, it has to leave. The longer it was there, the more I felt a connection. I kept thinking, you know, I'm worried about tomorrow. I think it's going to be okay. And I was worried because things were changing at my job. And I thought, you know what, I may be out of a job when I meet with this big boss. But I felt, you know, maybe this is Dad, or maybe this is a message from the higher power that things are going to be okay. I met with the big boss the next day. He not only secured my job, he gave me a promotion. So that's just the reality for me, is I noticed this, I felt it and thought there's a connection to God. So the answers are within. Isaiah 65:24 says, and it shall come to pass that before you call, I will answer. And while you are speaking, I will hear. And Dr. Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker wrote the following, and I believe, Reverend Judy, you'd put this as one of your morning little meditations. I walk in the light in which there is no darkness, in that love in which there is no fear, in that life in which there is no death. Life, the gift we all have. And we're all on our own journey, but there are many pathways. But only those who are brave and wander find new paths. So are we looking to discover ourselves? And an interesting journey never follows a straight path. And right away, of course, me loving food, my head went to Easter and being a little girl on an Easter egg hunt. And if you're looking for those Easter eggs, there's no way you're going to go on a straight path. You're going to look under every nook and cranny to see if there is chocolate or whatever you're going to get hidden there for you. So are we really looking? Or are we willing to go a little off the course? Because who knows what we'll discover about the world and ourselves. We are each on a path unique to us only, offering special lessons to be learned. Just like when we're a child, we have to crawl before we walk. We take it one step at a time. And quite often the difficult roads lead to new adventures. So I want to read a little bit out of Science of Mind. It says the possibility of spiritual mind healing, changing the environment, controlling conditions, etc., through the power of right thinking rests entirely upon the theory that we are surrounded by a universal mind which reacts to our thought and always according to law. And that's in the Science of Mind textbook, page 177. You see, God is all there is. And we are a part of God. Like we are the branch of part of a tree, and the tree is the divine mind, God, and each of us are a part of it. There is a universal mind, spirit, intelligence that is the origin of everything, and that means you. There is one life back of everything that lives. This energy is in everything. There is one spirit back of all expressions. That is the meaning of Acts 17:28, which says, and I'm sure you've heard this many times, in him we live, move, and have our being. There's even hymns made with that in it. And that's from our Science Mind textbook, page 35. So in closing, I want to remind you that my mind is the mind of God, functioning at the level of my perception of life. Your mind is the mind of God, functioning at the perception of life. And Dr. Holmes said that in It's Up to You, page 54. So in closing, I'd like you to repeat with me. I'll read it once, and then if you will repeat it with me. I am perfect, whole, and complete now. When you say it, please embody it. I am perfect, whole, and complete now. And so it is. And now, Reverend Judy, I ask if you would please do the closing.
Well, hello again. And for our closing, we begin with the prosperity portion of our program. And that entails reading a prosperity affirmation together. It is the Father's good pleasure to give me the kingdom, and it is my place to rule that kingdom with wisdom, enjoying its abundance and sharing that good with all. There is no need to hold tightly to what I have, for my supply has no limit. I give freely and accept fully, and so it is. And for all of you who are sitting at your kitchen table or on your couch, please know that you can donate to the center by going to our website, www.cslreddeer.org, and there is a donate button. You can donate through PayPal or simply with a credit card if that's your choice, or you can mail us a check to Box 28075, Red Deer, T4N 7C2. So thank you for your generosity. And of course, the way I'm choosing to do it now is to do what's called a committed giving form, so that the bank transfers money from my bank account every month to the center's bank account, and that simplifies it. So if that's your choice, that's wonderful. And now let's go to our closing affirmation. Today, I live in the present moment. My total attention is given to each task and to every relationship. There is a joy and vitality in this, for I am not burdened by thoughts of yesterday or what comes next, only this precious moment and all that it contains. God is good, life is good, and so am I, and so it is. And just stay with me for a closing spiritual mind treatment. Right here and right now, I know the good of this day. I know the good that God is, whether I call it universal mind, spirit, or some other name, Yahweh, Jehovah, Great Spirit. It is one. There is only one. And in that one, there is wisdom and power and grace and joy. There is a perfection of health and well-being, vitality. There is perfect well-being in every state of affairs that we experience. And because there is only one, and it is all that is, I know that I myself and you are part of that. The nature of God is your nature too. And to the extent that we recognize and enable it, that oneness in God that we are can unfold for us in the ways that we truly desire, in the ways that we believe, in the ways that we allow, in the ways that we accept. Today I do accept that good in everything in my circumstances. I invite you to embrace that good in your circumstances, in your life experience. With loving thanks, I release these words into a law that is infallible. That law works upon my thoughts and feelings and brings into experience that which I have embodied. And so it is.
And so it is.